Bienvenidos. Yo soy Jacobo Dupina y traigo las noticias para usted. Hoy tenemos comida nutricional de Cuba.
Go.
We're here in the cardio room, interviewing Mr. Williams. Why don't the United States import anything to Cuba?
The United States does not import items from Cuba because Cuba is a communist country. And when Cuba turned into a communist country, the government of the United States decided to put an embargo on their products because they're communist.
Moving into the next question. Do you know anything about embargo with Cuba?
I do know about the embargo with Cuba. As I just stated, when Cuba became a communist country, that's when the United States decided that we were not going to trade anything with that particular country.
Moving into the next question. Do you think we should not embargo with Cuba?
Well, they're a communist country, so kind of goes against everything that our economic system and the United States believes in. So, yeah, I would say that I do agree with the embargo on Cuba.
Alright, thank you. Nuestro primero tema es almuerzos escolares en Cuba. Próximos son algunos interesantes hechos. Comida de Cuba. This is Jake Vina, the second interview. What do you know about the Cuban Missile Crisis?
The Cuban Missile Crisis was when the Soviets had joined in cahoots with the Cubans, particularly Castro. They allowed Cuba to put missile silos, which would hold nuclear weapons, 90 miles from the coast of the U.S. Our spy planes, U-2 spy planes, took pictures of these things, saw the Soviets bringing the missiles across the ocean, the Atlantic, and Kennedy said that we were going to put a naval blockade on Cuba, and we were not going to allow these missiles to come into Cuba. So we had a stalemate in the ocean for about 3 days. Their ships, our ships. What a lot of people don't know is we actually had missiles in Afghanistan and what is now Kazakhstan pointed at them. One of the behind the scene deals was, we'll move ours out of the way, they moved theirs. This was before ICBMs. What's an ICBM?
I couldn't tell you.
Intercontinental ballistic missile, meaning they can travel hundreds of miles. So we were scared to have nuclear warheads just 90 miles away. Soviets turned around and went home.
Is that the end of
They
that?
blinked.
That was the end of
That's
that?
the end of that.
Alright, next question. Do you know what type of government system Cuba has installed?
Currently, not really. Castro, I believe it's his son or brother. I think it's his brother took over. It was more, not a harsh dictator as militaristic, probably some militaristic, but I think it's a lesser form of communism, especially the economic side of it. But I don't know a tremendous amount about it because it really isn't publicized that much and something I don't research too much.
Do you think the government system in Cuba affects U.S. travel?
Well, I know you can't travel to Cuba, and if you bring things from Cuba into the United States, it's considered contraband, like Cuban cigars, stuff like that. But I do know you can go to other countries and go to Cuba. They love American money. The Cuban people treat Americans well. The only problem is if you went to Canada and then flew to Cuba and you got in trouble in Cuba, the U.S. has no embassy or no way to help you while you're in Cuba. You're on your own. So you're going at a very big risk.
Thank you. Bienvenidos. Ahora estamos yendo a discutir obesidad de Cuba. Bienvenido para nuestro último tema de restaurante de Cuba.
exclaim.
This is the third interview with Mr. Brickwood.
First interview with Mr. Brickwood, third interview today.
Do you think if we did get to go into Cuba, would it be different and why?
Yeah, I think we definitely pick up some of their cultures and traits. And I also think it'd be interesting just to see, you know, how their lifestyle is down there for Americans. Be able to tour down there, be tourists, and travel and so forth. So here's a beautiful country.
My mom.
She didn't like it?
No. If the United States went to Cuba, do you think we'd be more united in cultures?
Yeah, I mean, it's 90 miles off the Florida coast, so I think it would be beneficial for both countries to kind of interact, break that barrier.
That's what we need. Do you think fast food would be cheaper here or in Cuba?
Cuba, just because it's, you know, our dollar is worth more up here, so it'd be, I don't know how I'm trying to say that. It may be, I don't know, pricier down there in terms of how much the money is, how much it says, like 500 pesos, but 500 pesos is like $50 or $5 American, so I don't know how to, just delete that and never show that clip ever. Delete.
Yo soy
Stop.
Jacobo Dubina y gracias para escuchar.